Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. And you are joining us here for the round 3 of the Vision GT, the VGT Season 5, in those kooky little concept cars. And we dare race them now. There is rules to the VGT. They have 2 races, a short race and a longer race based on mileage. I think it's 30 miles plus a lap in the first race and 75 miles plus a lap in the second race. Oh, we've got chat. Mr. Skyjacker, good morning, sir. Hello to you too. Yeah, I'm freeballing the rules on this one because I listened to the last stream and what a dull fest. Lots of ers, lots of ums as I was reading it and trying to understand it. So I probably will get the rules wrong. But yeah, we have 2 races. And the rules usually are whatever tyre you qualify on, you use in the sprint race. You have like one set of softs and a set of mediums to choose between the sprint and the feature, and in the feature you have to use hards, and whatever you don't use in the sprint you use in the feature race. It's not just one set, 'cause I think Homesick used 2 sets of softs last time round with that bold strategy that he used, but none of them rules matter because I have heard here at Fuji, that's where we're at, it's wetter than a Harry Styles concert. Yes, it's a little damp out there. So I'll get you the grid in the chat. Then Skyjacker saying, oh, what a nice treat at this time in the morning. And Madalinsky saying, good morning. Well, hello. Right. So there's a table. I think I've covered everything. They're not going to have to worry. They're just going to use wet tyres. There's no tyre problems. If it's dry in this feature race, then we'll cover it. But I don't think it's going to be. What's the number 4 in between? Oh, hang on. He sent me a table, you see, and I'm trying to understand it. I don't know what the points in the first section are for. So I think the table is, after 2 rounds, I might be wrong, but we'll go with it, is Skyjacker at the top of the table on 62 points, Homesick Alien in second on 61 points, Miyumi is third. It's not their car number. Maybe that was the race before. Yeah, I think that's from the race before. Oh, that's cool. It's like a little column of the race before. All right, let me start again. Skyjacker is at the top on 62 points. Homesick Alien is second on 61 points. Miyumi third on 55 points. Fourth for Ensign Ewer on 54 points. Then we have 5th Jokus on 47 points. Bazza 6th in 43 points. 7th for Pat on 43 points also. Him and Bazza in it, locked in it. Liam Anfield yet to score. And Mark III Janushu, I think, is Madalinsky, is yet to score. Right. Let's have a look at this grid then, shall we? These streams, we should be straight into the race, shouldn't we? We haven't seen a car yet. We're meant to be looking at cars. Right, I think it's this way. On pole then, we have Homesick Alien in the Valvoline Peugeot Group 1 Beast. In second place, we have a Mayumi in his SO
I didn't explain that already.
covered car. Then in third, I think this is the new guy, Madalinsky. Very cool there. Getting third straight away. Bish, bash and bosh. Fourth there for Skyjacker in the Monster Peugeot. Then, what number was he for? Fifth is Pat in the Martini Opal Fruits. That would be a drink and a half, Pat. Get on that. An Opal Fruit Martini. Did I say that last stream? I probably did. And Liam Anfield back to the fold. Hello, good sir. Nice to see you again. He is sitting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sixth? Is it 6th? I think that's 6th. Yeah. 7th then for, this is not what Martin, this is not the Martin Brundle grid walk that you're used to, I know. We have a Jokus, I believe. That's his car. Lovely dovely. And then in 8th, we've got Big Dan Ensign Hewitt. The big Ensign Dan Hewitt in his lovely rich energy. They are the riders. let's get back to the normal thing. I think I've lost you because that was awful. Now let's have a quick look at the tyres. So Homesick Aliens on intermediate tyres. Mayumi starting on intermediate tyres. Madalinsky is starting on the intermediates. Skyjacker on the wets. Pat has opted for intermediates. Liam has opted for intermediates. Jokus has opted for the intermediates. And Big Dan has opted for the wets. Now looking at the little monitor down in the bottom left-hand corner, it's got that little blue bar there which shows that it should be wet tyres. It's in 3 sections. The bottom section, you're pretty good for dries. In the middle section is intermediates, and then when you hit that top bit and it goes blue, there is a lot of standing water, and you need wet tyres. So the intermediate boys, it'll be interesting. Catch up with the chat. Skyjacker saying the first grey column is the current drop score. So as that I didn't explain that already. No, it's all right, man. It surprised me. Right then, let's get on with the race, shall we? They're doing 11 laps around Fuji in wet conditions. Interesting. These cars, I mean, they've got so much torque. Let's go. They got no traction as it is. I mean, they lie them back wheels up all the time. And Homesick Alien looks like he's got a good start. Mayumi's snaking away, and the wet tyres have come into play for Skyjacker. Getting nearly. Mayumi's, he's still in there. But Skyjacker does get the lead, and the wet tyres was the way to go. But how quick is it? It's raining. It looks like it's raining heavy as well out there. Homesick Alien then tucked up behind Skyjacker. And it's a battle of inters and wets, and we are just above the line for inters, so it'll be interesting to see how these guys go. We saw Mayumi struggling to get off of the line. Jokus has had an amazing start up into 4th, and he's cracking on with Liam Anfield down there in 5th. That's the new boy, Madalinsky. He's dropped heavy. He's dropping heavy. He's gone behind Big Dan now, and Pat we saw in the corner of our eye, just out in the distance. He was a little wide on the corner, and it's put him a little bit back. But Skyjacker at the moment, was he the only wet starter? Possibly, and it's worked well. Mayumi somehow has got ahead of the Homesick, and Old Sick Alien just cracking on. Liam Anfield doing a super job at the moment. Big Dan, Joker's there struggling. In the twisty section of the track. He's on the inters. Big Dan's on the west. Says big things, doesn't it? And Liam Anfield out there in 4th with Homesick Alien. Mayumi having a little shake and bake there around the corner. He's wiggling hard, trying to get that accelerator down. And Homesick Alien viewing all of this, getting a lovely toe up the straight. My word, it's raining hard. Those intermediate boys, what were they thinking? I've heard that's a complaint of the game, that you don't know how bad it's going to be when you start the race. And Homesick having to brake a lot earlier, because they just don't know what the grip levels are at the moment. Skyjacker has pulled an absolute blinder with his tyres, and he's flying. Mayumi somehow getting past the Alien. Homesick Alien. Then Liam Anfield, but Joker's on him, and Big Dan with a bit of an advantage there. Should have small advantage with them tyres. Bit more grip, and he's nearly grabbed a place there from Joker's. Joker's struggling, but Big Dan's got a slide on in the middle of the corner. And Madalinsky is right in the action as well, with Pat catching up the pack. Pat coming back like the Phoenix. And Skyjacker, meanwhile, putting a nice gap between him and the American, who's snaking around all over the place. These intermediate tyres not dealing with the standing water here at all. And no one can get even close to Skyjacker at the moment. Liam Anfield doing a fine job. Back in the fold. He's been away. Don't call it a comeback. And Joker's struggling with Big Dan. Big Dan now, Joker's going wide, and Big Dan getting the decisive move done that he's needed to do. And now he can go forth and attack Liam, because he's on the right tyres. Everyone around him has opted. But Big Dan's still lighting up. the Peugeot, the Group 1 car there. Joker's then slipping down the order with those intermediate tyres. Madalinsky a little further back from his fellow countryman, it seems. Another pole. And Pat going for a move on Madalinsky. He's got a toe. It's got to be done before the braking zone, especially in this condition. Their braking's got to be absolutely dead on with these grip levels, and Pat gets the move done into the braking zone, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of artistry we saw from Pat there. Great move done on Madalinsky, and Madalinsky will be trying to get that position back as soon as possible. Joker's trying to get back on top of his grip level problems as Big Dan catches right up to the back of Liam Anfield, but Liam Anfield steady as they go. He look at his hand, as steady as you like. Look at him. Car hasn't snaked once. Coming round there, the man has got a touch. And Big Dan, even though he's got more grip on those wet tyres, he's lighting that bad boy up in every corner possible. There he goes again. He just wants to get that accelerator down. He doesn't want to hang around. Big Dan does not wait for traction. He accelerates, but he can hold a drift like no one I've seen before. But Liam Anfield at the moment, steady Eddie, but he's got the pressure, and Big Dan looking to get the move done now. Skyjacker still leads from Miumi. Homesick Alien third. We are watching the battle here for fourth and fifth. Big Dan all over the back of Liam Anfield, but Liam Anfield steady as a rock. Car pointing the right way every time. There's been no snaking from him, but now Big Dan gets a lovely toe coming down this long straight. We're on lap 3 of 11. And Big Dan now getting his fastest lap he's done so far. Did he back off? Has he backed off? I thought he would have caught up. Liam Anfield there. Into the braking zone, Big Dan then. Gets it down and in. Liam Anfield, it's getting wetter, isn't it? No, it seems to be drying a little, so it should be coming back to the intermediate drivers. And we're only not even halfway into the race now. Miumi looks like he's starting to struggle. He's been snaking out of every corner. He's like Dan, isn't he? He's mental. And Skyjacker will be losing his advantage soon, it seems. I don't know. It's still raining. No. Well, there's rain going up, but it's not raining half as hard. So Skyjacker will be starting to feel the pressure from behind, I am sure. Miumi at the moment just trying to keep the Alien at bay, at the championship leader as well, let's remember. Liam Anfield still keeping Big Dan behind, but Big Dan loves that accelerator, can't get it down quick enough. And Joker's there, saw him in the mid-slide, going out the corner, and these cars so hard to control around here at Fuji. Pat then pulling away from Madalinsky, who is also struggling with these slippery conditions, and Skyjacker smashes another lap across the line to start lap 5, or is it? And 49.4 from Skyjacker. Miumi a 49.0, Homesick Alien a 49.2. So they're still around the same time. So 50.3 from Liam Anfield. Big Dan at 51.1. Joker's managed 53.7 for Joker's, but the track's coming back to the tyre. Pat a 54.3, fastest he's gone in the race, and a 52.7 from Madalinsky. Fantastic. Oh, he's not even finished his lap, sorry. Oh, it's a 2:02. He had a huge one on that one, unfortunately. But Skyjacker now, he's going to be finding the track's going away from him and coming back to the intermediate runners, and Homesick Alien wants to maintain a good, healthy points lead in this championship. Remember, it's only a brittle lead he's got in the table from Skyjacker, I believe. No, Skyjacker's leading the championship. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Skyjacker's leading the championship by 1 point. This is great for Skyjacker up at the front. And it's Miumi who's 6 points behind Homesick Alien. And Miumi, I think, feels a bit bitter. I don't think he does. I've not heard anything. but he got a 5-point penalty. So he would have been even closer to Homesick Alien, but Homesick Alien at the moment behind him, which is what Mayumi needs. And Skyjacker, I apologise, championship leader and leading the race, but you can see, I think, Mayumi getting closer and closer. Homesick Alien chasing him down. He must be getting sick of the back of the Peugeot in front. Wants to change up the scenery a little bit. 46.45 from Mayumi. Skyjacker of 47.6, so it's not going to take long, is it? Well, we've got 5 more laps to go, and the intermediate runners have taken their pain for the first few laps, but now the track is come to them, and Big Dan did a good lap there to stay with him. It's Jokus as well, going faster than he's gone. Pat going fastest of all, a 45.2 from the Martini Opel Fruits driver, and he'll be tippling a Martini if he can keep hold of that fastest lap. And Madalinsky 49.8, which is his fastest lap, but the track definitely drying up, and Mayumi definitely is catching up with Skyjacker. Skyjacker now just has to cling on and hope to hell that Mayumi and Homesick do something ridiculous. I think he's safe. Could be safe from Liam Anfield. Big Dan starting to drop away from Liam. Now the tyres are not choice. They're not the choice tyre that you would want. And Liam Anfield then managing to pull away from Big Dan. Now Big Dan's got to worry about Jokus, but Jokus has dropped a little ways back from him. So Big Dan, I'd say could be safe, but there's still plenty of racing time left here. It's nowhere near the end of the race. So, yeah, Big Dan could be in trouble. But Jokus, if he keeps pulling stuff like that, it's not going to go his way. And Pat, who's got on top of the car now in the right conditions, is heading very rapidly towards the tail end of the Polish driver. Jokus, beware. Pat is on the go. 42.1 from Pat. Jokus 45.8. Skyjacker, he's still there. He did a 42.2 last time around. Mayumi doing a 40.4, taking that fastest lap away from Pat. Skyjacker trying to stay in the wet there, trying to keep those tyres active and alive as Mayumi starts heading very quickly towards him. And he's dropped Homesick Alien. Homesick Alien a 44.6 there, nearly 4 seconds slower than the American driver. Liam Anfield 42.6, and he has definitely dropped Big Dan, and Big Dan still being relevant with those lap times, which is helpful ahead of Jokus, because Jokus could close up very quickly as the track dries out. Pat, again, purples from Pat. He loves this. This is his domain. Intermediate tyres on a drying track in a Group 1 car is where Pat is comfortable. Look at him go. Madalinsky then, he's doing 42.8s as well on the pace for the new driver. And Skyjacker then crossing the line. He's still leading. He's just got the fastest lap of the race, 38.6. But I'm sure that will be rapidly taken away from him. 38.7 from Mayumi. Homesick Alien 38.9. And Liam Anfield only a 40.1. So Skyjacker still managing to pull out those impressive lap times on the wrong tyre. Again for the purples there. Skyjacker, he's digging deep now, trying to find anything he's got. He's got 4 more laps ahead of Mayumi. 3 more laps, I'm sorry, ahead of Mayumi. But Mayumi on the right tyre. Skyjacker, the tyres are going to get more and more difficult for him. It's more sluggish coming out of the corners, not wanting to light up. And he's got to find some wetness there as he makes his way around. Mayumi on point at the moment in the car. He's left Homesick Alien behind. Anfield, he's not close enough to the Alien, I think, to be too much of a threat, and he'd have to up his lap times a little more. Homesick Alien going nearly over a second faster than Liam Anfield last time around. Big Dan clinging on, but Joker so far hasn't. Oh, he did a 40.7 last time around, but he's definitely being caught up by Pat. Pat was some 2-3 seconds behind him, and now Pat right in the sweet zone there, and Pat looking to get a move done on Jokers, and Jokers could be in trouble here. And the Pat is bringing it, and Joker's gone wide off camera, and Pat's now upon him. They're side by side coming down the straight, and your money would be on Pat. He's got the momentum, and but Joker's has got the racing line, the drier line, but Pat's just trying to get back over. Joker's not allowing it. He says, no, I've got the line. You decided to take that line, and it's battling it out into the corner, and Pat does come out ahead, but he didn't have the grip, and Joker stood his ground, managed to stay on the dry stuff, and Pat lost all grip and cohesion in that corner, and ended up a little further back than Jokus. Miyumi then is leading. I apologise, whilst we watch that, Miyumi has managed to get past Skyjacker quite a while ago, and I apologise, but that was all worth the battle to watch anyway. It was fun. I don't apologise. And you get to see anyway, oh, Skyjacker just goes a little wide into turn one, and it's a gift for Miyumi. And Skyjacker, he done well, didn't he? He done well to stay where he was, because now we're virtually in the dry zone for tyres, and the intermediates will find that a lot easier to drive on than Skyjacker and Big Dan on those wet tyres. Homesick Alien, can he catch up Skyjacker? Possibly not. We're on lap 9 of 11, and it depends on how much drier it gets. Skyjacker now just finding any wet piece of tarmac out there that he can drive on. We're going off-road soon, I imagine, but Miyumi hasn't pulled away. Especially, he hasn't dropped him. Miyumi is only a small mistake away from losing the lead. Homesick Alien, he's trying to up the pace, trying to catch the guys up before him. And Liam Anfield, 37.6 with Homesick doing a 37.1. So Liam at the moment not able to mount an attack on Homesick Alien. Big Dan, a 39.2. Jokus, 39.7. Big Dan could be safe here. Jokus missing an opportunity. Pat, with a 37 as well, and he's so much faster than Jokus, but he just can't get by him. And Madalinsky staying with the pack. I think he's got some racing chops amongst him. Miyumi then pulling away. He's getting fastest lap after fastest lap. Skyjacker dropping off, and Homesick Alien a 34.7 against Skyjacker's 36.6, and still this lap and the next lap to go. Homesick Alien could mount an attack here for the second place in this race. Liam Anfield also up in the pace at 36.0, but 2 seconds slower than the Alien, so he's not managing to get on pace with them. Big Dan is a struggle on wets, and he's trying to find any damp patch he can. Jokus still ahead of Pat, but Pat is really rapid today, and he is trying to bring it to Jokus, put the pressure on him, and both of them do seem to be catching up. Big Dan still managing to pull those lap times out though. In the moment Miyumi comes across the line to start the final lap. It's been a great race. It looked like he was struggling in the early parts. His car was wiggling around like a crazy thing. And again, another fastest lap for Miyumi, as now Skyjacker has to worry about Homesick Alien, who's just taken the fastest lap, 34.5, away from Miyumi. And now Skyjacker, this is about survival. He has just got to stay ahead of the Alien. for this lap, and Homesick Alien finding that sweet spot in the car, but he's lost a second in the first sector already, so Skyjacker could be safe for now. Liam Anfield also finding the sweet spot in the Peugeot prototype. Big Dan is ripping his tyres up. He's still there in fifth though. Joker's unable to make an impression, and Pat's back on the business again with Jokus, and this is going to be a battle all the way to the flag, isn't it? It's going to be tough to pull away from, and Jokus at the moment just clinging on ahead of Pat. Nothing changed at the top. You're missing nothing now. Jokus has gone wide. Pat's going to try and stay, but Pat can't quite get the move done. He's going for the other line. Pat on the inside. Can he make it stick? Coming down the hill. Pat's taken a big bit of curb there. They're side by side into the braking zone. Oh! Right, quickly. Mayumi gets the win. Great stuff from the American. Skyjacker crosses the line in second place. It almost worked. And Homesick Alien rounds out the podium. Take a boo, my son. Liam Anfield grabs himself a fourth spot, with Big Dan just coming around. Let's get back to this battle. Pat got ahead of Jokus. We'll go back. And here we saw, I think this is where we saw up to, Pat going up the inside. He took a lot of curb, didn't he? See, well, you're seeing a bit more than what you've already seen. And now Pat up the inside of Jokus. Is this the move? We had to pull away to watch Mayumi cross the line, and I think that's it. Job done by Pat. Great stuff on the final lap from Pat, and his lap times did say that he deserved that spot. Oh, but he's gone wide, but he's kept it together, and now we're waiting for Big Dan to come across the line. He comes out the final corner, and the weather was not on his side in the end here for the sprint race. He crosses the line to take fifth place. Good points though, good points. Pat managing to stay ahead of Jokus. Jokus on the toe, but the line's too close, and that's sixth place for Pat. And Jokus getting seventh. His fellow countryman coming home for eighth place. And not a bad debut, I've got to say. Cracking stuff. So Mayumi took the win. Excellent drive from Mayumi. Fantastic stuff. And a big congratulations to the Peugeot SO driver. Skyjacker on the wet tyres helped him a lot in the early parts of the race. But come the end, it just didn't have the grip, I guess, to fight off Mayumi. But he got second, and I bet he thought that was the chance of that was hard, with Homesick Alien being very close to Mayumi. But Homesick Alien slipped away from Mayumi as the track started drying. He didn't get the fastest lap in the end. Mayumi got it back off him with a 33.7. So Mayumi then getting fastest lap and the win. He's trying to get those 5 points back. So Homesick Alien rounds out the podium. Liam Anfield, he's been out for a while. Car 13 back on track and straight in on the pace. He got a 33.9 on the last lap, so watch out. He's just finding his feet. Big Dan on those wet tyres, early doors. Could have, I reckon he could have got himself up into second, but he just wanted to slam that accelerator down out of every corner. But I'm sure he had fun. Pat, valiant drive from Pat. Great drive from the Martini driver. And gets himself sixth place ahead of Jokus, who was erratic today, to say the least. And Madalinsky, welcome. Great drive. Brilliant stuff. Let's see you cross the line. And then we will cut to the feature race. And I don't know what the weather will be like there as well. I don't know if it's just going to stay dry now, because it was just a tinkle in the morning. We will look. How far back is it going to put me? How much gubbins have you got to look at? What's that? All right, hang on. Right now, don't look. Don't look because it tells you the results, because that is unreasonable. It's bizarre. Tell you the starting lineup, don't tell you the results. I'll tell you when it's all right to look again. Don't look yet. Don't look yet. How long have you got your eyes closed for? Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Now you can look. So here we go. It's continuation. Hang on. Jesus, they're quick. And it's I'm going to go back. Because that was ridiculous. So here we go for a 27-lap race here at Fuji in the dry. Hang on, it's in the dry. I've got to look at people's tyres. The tyre rule's out now. I think the only rule probably is it they still have to use the hard tyre. Oh, I don't even know. So we might just have a straightforward. We'll see. If someone puts the hard tyre on, I am under the understanding that if there's a wet, I don't know if it's a wet round or a wet race. We'll see. So Mayumi will be starting on the front on racing soft tyres. Skyjacker in second, starting on the racing softs. Homescalian's going for racing softs. Liam Anfield's gone for racing softs. Big Dan's gone for racing softs. Pat's racing softs. Jokers has gone for the mediums. And Madalinsky has gone for racing softs. So, in dry conditions, it seems, we are starting the race on racing softs mainly, bar Jokers. So here we go. Lights are out. 27 laps of Fuji, and Mayumi, a textbook start, and Skyjacker, it's just a drag race now. But oh no, Mayumi's dropped well back. What happened to Mayumi? Did he lift? But he comes back. No, maybe not. He just seemed to drop back a lot there. But Mayumi then, and Cybo, and then it's chaos behind. Homesick Alien seemed to leap up. I think he went a little wide, coming back on the track. I don't think there was much. I don't know where the problems were. I'm not going to sift through it all. Big Dan's only just getting back on track. He seems to have missed out the most in that first corner. And it's Mayumi leading from Skyjacker. Liam Anfield is up into third spot. Madalinsky from the back is up to fourth. That shows you how crazy it was. Pat in fifth. Homesick Alien slipping down to sixth. Jokers in seventh. And Big Dan was the big loser in that weird collision. I saw just a lot of cars hitting each other, and I thought, I'm not going back because it'll just take us too long. I feel like we've been streaming for a while already, and you guys have got better things to do with your time than keep looking at instances. That's for students. So Mayumi then leads the race. Racing soft tyres, how long will they last? I didn't even really look at the fuel tanks from that first race. Skyjacker, I think they're able to make these cars last half a race, but it's a push to do so. And it'll be even harder at Fuji with this long straight. You can't really turn your engine down. And Liam Anfield then getting a nice bite of a dry track. So it was only a wet morning. I thought it was, for some reason in my head, it was a wet Dublé race, but no, dry feature it seems. Mayumi at the moment just doing enough to stay ahead of Skyjacker, the championship leader. I misspoke. I thought Homesick was, but it was Skyjacker. And Liam Anfield in that third spot, picking it up from Homesick's already up into fourth. Sorry, I've missed all his moves. Pat's fifth, Jokers is sixth, Madalinsky's dropped down to seventh, Big Dan's caught him. Can't assume, I suppose. And Madalinsky going slightly wide, but so does Big Dan. So Madalinsky survives that one. Jokers all up and in Pat, resuming the battle from race one. And Pat is feeling that pressure from Jokers. All up and in his business, coming through the tight section of Fuji. They haven't got tyre corner names, I think. I've looked before. Fuji just has numbers. I might be wrong. Might have just been the map I looked at. But yeah, Joker's struggling to get any kind of traction down. He wants to get on his accelerator. He can't wait. And car 80 there loses ground to Pat. car 4. Mayumi still leading ahead of Skyjacker. With Liam Anfield, they're spacing out a little bit now. Skyjacker did a 29.3, Liam Anfield a 30.2, Mayumi 28.8. Look at him go. It's like a whippet. Like an absolute whippet. Nothing can stop him. Homesick Alien. A little bit on the back foot here. Pat closing in on the Alien. Homesick Alien did a 30.1 last time around. Pat doing a 29.6. Pat smelling some opportunity here in the Martini Opal Fruits Peugeot. Jokers in 6th spot ahead of Big Dan, who has got a move done on Madalinsky. And now he's trying to chase after the other Polish driver, and he goes wide. He goes wide, giving Madalinsky a great opportunity here, coming up and onto the straight. Yes, now getting into the toe, getting onto the power, and chasing. You begin that toe, lovely now, and roundabout, look at him, he's starting to catch Big Dan, and he's going to get the move done before the corner. No, not quite. He's going to have to do it under braking here, and Big Dan just about stays ahead with a little late braking, and he's having a ball, he's having a great race. Mayumi at the moment, distance doesn't seem to be changing between him, Skyjacker, and Liam Anfield. 28.5 for Mayumi last time around, 29.1 again, oh no, for Skyjacker, and Liam Anfield at 28.3. So Liam Anfield really is starting to get into the stride of things after his extensive surgery. They rebuilt him from just a hair follicle. Total rebuild. So Liam Anfield back in action. And Skyjacker is a sitting duck, really. If Liam's picking up that pace, look, he's in the toe already. But don't count that Skyjacker may be doing a little fuel saving. He's got a little bit more fuel on board than Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield then, sweet spot of a toe, pulls out to get the move done into the first corner, and that's Liam Anfield up and into 2nd place. But I suspect Skyjacker is, I don't know, lifting, coasting, maybe, possibly lifting a little before braking just to save his fuel slightly. Liam Anfield chasing after Mayumi though, and Mayumi's getting through his tyres a little more than Liam Anfield, and Skyjacker's about the same. Homesick Alien saving a lot more fuel than the boys ahead of them. 5 laps in so far, and these guys way under 3/4. And Homesick Alien just about under 3/4. Pat, has he caught the Alien anymore? 29.4 from Pat last time around. Homesick 29.2. So it's touch and go between Pat and Homesick Alien. Jokers 33.3 last time around. Big Dan at 29.8, and Big Dan recovering from his issues from the first lap. And Madalinsky just trying to cling on for the fun of it. Mayumi leads the way, and Liam Anfield in 2nd. He hasn't shaken off a Skyjacker. Totally Skyjacker really missed his braking there, I think. Or he got carried away in the toe. But he went a little wide in that corner. I think he avoided Liam. And, Liam Anfield, I'm sure he was aware of it and smirked to himself as he cracks on. Chasing after the American. No one knows who's going to win this one. I'll tell you that much. Mayumi, I think he's eating his tyres up more than the other guys. about the similar fuel loads to Liam Anfield's, but he's definitely worn his tyres a little more. Skyjacker, not leaning on the fuel as much as the other guys. His tyres seem to be a little healthier as well. Homesick Alien, who's got the best fuel out of all of them, is starting to catch him, I believe. He does seem to be closing in on the 3 ahead. Pat. Oh, Pat, what a time to come to you, man. It's just about to big you up big time. You've got a lovely distance from yourself and Jokers, though. You can afford that mistake. But you're no longer in the fight with Homesick Alien, I'm afraid. Homesick Alien. Oh, Big Dan's just got ahead. Oh, I don't know what's happened there. I just was going to say Big Dan's got ahead of Jokers. Did he not? Maybe not. Just gone back loads. I thought it just said Big Dan had gone ahead of Jokers. I've just gone back like 30 seconds. Oh, don't forget Jokers is on those medium tyres as well. So Jokers struggling for grip out there. There he's having a wiggle. Big Dan's on his way. Jokers there goes wide. Big Dan nearly looking for a move on Jokers. Jokers is around the outside. That's where I saw Big Dan. Oh, and Big Dan floored it too soon and found himself in the barrier, missing his mate Barry. And Madalinsky gets through as well ahead of Big Dan. There's the 2 Polish drivers then coming down the straight. Pat, they're after you, mate. Don't look over your shoulder because they're coming. Homesick Alien then at 29.3 last time around from him. He's starting to mount an attack, but I think there's some tomfoolery going along with fuel and strategies up ahead. Miyumi is just bolting, like I said, a whippet that he is, out of the stalls, just trying to get that second win. He's already had a win today in the first race. Going for number 2 on his championship efforts, and this will mark halfway through. I think it's only a 6-round championship, so this will mark the middle of the championship at the end of this one. You've got a good eye how the season's going to crack on after that. Liam Anfield chasing them down with Skyjacker still in the action. Homesick Alien playing catch up from early fuel saving, but we saw he fuel saves, but he saves it in pit time. And this has got to be oh, he's just taken the fastest lap. Cheeky man, cheeky boy. Pat then has lost that battle with Homesick Alien, I believe. Just pulled a 29.3 though. Good time. With Jokers now under attack from Madalinsky. Madalinsky is going for the moves, trying to get another position out of this race. And it's Polish on Polish action. It's here at the VRC as well as the Orange YouTube. But Jokers then stays ahead of Madalinsky with Big Dan on the chase. Enseneur fancies a piece of that action right there as Pat scurries away. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. His tyres are starting to wear. He's halfway through his fuel tank. We are on lap 8 of 27, so still 19 laps to go. We've got a long way to go in this race. This is going to be a long one, I believe. Pat nearly losing the back end. You can't be doing that. We've got Jokers and Madalinsky on their way. And you're in trouble because they're like vipers. Look at them, the pair of them. They were hunting in packs. Big Dan sliding that car in and out of the chicanes, the corners. It's some crazy stuff. He's just so right foot heavy. Mumi at the moment driving by the numbers, hitting the apexes, doing everything correct and everything steady to stay in the lead. Liam Anfield pushing on. He's just taken the fastest lap of the race at 28.2. And Miyumi will be well aware of who the fastest man on the track is at the moment, and he'll be aware it's the person behind him. Skyjacker still being strategical, I believe, but it'll play out as the race goes on. Homesick Alien sitting in fourth at the moment, having a steady race, and it just, I thought he was going into the pits because I was in the wrong part of the track. He's looked after his tyres and his fuel a lot better than the guy ahead of him and the guy behind him. So Homesick Alien at the moment sitting pretty in fourth, could possibly grab that third spot. And Liam and Miumi, I think they've bolted. There's no fuel saving. There's nothing going on here between these two. They're just sprinting to their pit stop. But would that mean they'll have to do 2 pit stops? It possibly will. Because look, we're only on lap 10. We're not even halfway into the race yet. And these guys are burning through their tyres and burning through their fuel. They're maintaining 28s, 29s, swapping fastest laps between the two of them. Skyjacker also getting a purple as we talk. Sorry, I get all hyped up when I do the commentary and my leg shakes. So, alright, Homesick Alien then, 29.7 last time from him. I think he's playing the long game here. I think he's hoping to gain a lot of time in the pit stops. He's lost a lot of time on track. But the thing is, the pit stop is down the long straight, so you lose a lot of time that you would on the track, obviously. But it feels more because of the long straight. Cars will be bolting past you in top notch, and these cars are pretty rapid. So Homesick Alien then aiming to save a bit of time in the pits with Jokus and Big Dan. What's happened here? Madalinsky and Pat's gone to the back. Pat was fourth. Oh my word, it's all gone Pete Tong somewhere down here. Miyumi's into the pits on lap 10, and Big Dan gets the move done on Madalinsky. I don't know whether or not we should go back. I don't think Pat would appreciate it. I think it was the lap before anyway. So Miumi into the pits, the leaders into the pits, Liam Anfield still out, and Skyjacker going very wide into turn 1 there, and Homesick Alien goes through. So Miumi, is he going to be out ahead of Joker's? Joker's coming down the straight now. This is how much time you lose in the pit lane, and that's a Miumi out ahead of Joker's. He'll be relieved. He will be relieved, but now his question will be, when is everyone else pitting? He's put the soft tyre on, so if they do have to use the hard, which I don't think they do, he'll have to do it in another pit stop. Liam Anfield leads at the moment, but probably not as far as he'd like, away from Skyjacker. Skyjacker with, I don't know, half a lap's more fuel. I don't know what their fuel lasts really, but Skyjacker carrying a little more fuel into he's possibly going to try and go halfway in this race. Is about 13.5 laps, so around 13 or 14. Lap 13 or 14 is a 1 stop. It looks like Yumi is going to go 2 stops in this race, which is it's just going to lose too much time. I don't think it's feasible. Jokus doing a fine job on those medium tyres. His fuel's starting to run low though. Can he make that go for another 2 to 3 laps? I'm not sure. Big Dan, he's done well with fuel but not well with tyres. His tyres starting to hurt. And Madalinsky doing okay with fuel and tyres. So Madalinsky, the threat. Pat, he's doing okay with fuel, I think, but those tyres are feeling the strain. Liam Anfield at the moment. See, he was looking like he's lap 12. I said, what, lap 13 or 14 for a 1 stop? He's only just going to get to lap 13. I still think it's going to be tight for him to try and get a 1 stop out of this race. Whereas I think Skyjacker's going to go for a couple more laps yet. Lap 14 or 15 possibly for Skyjacker. Homesick Alien also could probably go up to lap 20. The way he's going for his fuel, he's being very conservative with it. Miyumi then back out there, and he's got to floor it. He's got to just do qualifying laps all the way. Look at him purpling it up big time. And Jokus out there, he's got to pit at the end of this one. It's hard to fuel conserve if you're getting low. It's hard to risk it with that long straight. You see, it's a lot of this track. You're at full pelt. See, Liam doesn't fancy risking another lap with that fuel, so Skyjacker takes over the lead that he never had. He did ever get it off of Miyumi. And Homesick Alien moves up in second. The battle is between Miyumi and Liam Anfield. Miyumi coming down the straight now. Liam Anfield in the pits. These pair possibly may have to pit again. Liam may be able to squeeze out a stint, but he's going to have to be a little conservative. He's gone for another set of softs. Joker's in as well. We knew his fuel was low. Big Dan's cracking on, and Madalinsky also cracking on with good fuel on board. Pat, his fuel started to flash, but he's going to crack on for another lap. Joker's has that car refueled and serviced as he gets back out there again, and the question is, when are these guys going to pit? How long can they go? Skyjacker's fuel is red, and like I said, it's risky to go another lap with the old red flashing, especially here, because you need that gas. And Homesick Alien, a quarter of a tank of fuel still on board. Bravo, old chap, on your fuel conservation. Miyumi did get ahead of Liam Anfield's, and quite a way as well. It's not bad. I suppose, but we think Miyumi's going to have to stop again. Liam Anfield may be able to stretch this stint out. He's put the hard tyre on. So Liam Anfield unsure about the tyre rule, or he knows about the tyre rule, and he has gone for a set of hard tyres. Miyumi possibly saving it for that final stop. Try and take this as late as into the race as he can, so he can spend as little time on the hard tyres as possible. And Big Dan, we should see what Joker's put on, shouldn't we? Joker's has put the hard tyre on, so yeah, the hard tyre rule is in. Unless it rains, I guess. It is looking grey. And now Big Dan, Madalinsky and Pat all pitting at the same time. Similar fuel loads. And I suppose they'll all be going for the hard tyre. Skyjacker and Homesick hanging it out as late as possible. And that is possibly because there may be rain to come here. It's looking very grey and very dull. I don't have a radar, but it's looking misty. It's looking misty in the distance, if you ask me. So Skyjacker and Homesick, but Homesick's really closed up on Skyjacker there. Skyjacker trying to lean that fuel out a little bit more, and they both come in, but you know, oh no, Homesick's decided to stay out. He's opted to stay out. He wants to see if it's going to rain. I'm sure it is. Miyumi then, is he gonna get Skyjacker's position? He possibly could, but he's gonna have to pit again during this race. Liam Anfield out there on the hard tyre. Big Dan is gone intermediate. Big Dan, he's foresawn the rain. He's gone for intermediate tyres, but there is no you've got to race with what's on the track. You can't do that, I'm sure. Jokers has gone for racing hards. Madlinsky's forgot to change his tyres, or he's happy with his tyres and decided not to. Big Dan off, is it? No, I thought someone was off. Skyjacker out of the pits. Skyjacker out of the pits behind Liam Anfield and Miyumi, and he goes straight on, does he not? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. He's okay. Homesick Alien's still waiting to see if that rain comes in. And surely Big Dan just made a mistake. He can't stay on the track. Look, he's struggling there. Joker's on the hard tyre that gives you no grip whatsoever, closing in and getting by. So Big Dan is praying that rain comes, and I'm not sure it's going to. It did look hazy and misty, I must say. Pat's gone for the racing hards. Homesick Alien's still staying out, unsure, but I think it's brightening up again. I don't know. I keep seeing flashes of the sky and it's looking bright again. I don't know. We got that one shot and it looked very dreary. Over there, though, it doesn't look too bad, but over there it looks grey and dreary. Who knows if the rain's going to come? Well, Big Dan seems to think he knows, and he thinks it is going to come. Homesick Alien staying out for another rotation. He just doesn't want to come in yet. We're on lap 16 of 27. Mayumi closing in on Homesick Alien. All the time Homesick Alien's out there, he's doing 30s, trying to make that fuel last, and now he's gonna have to pit, and I don't think it's gonna rain. It looks like it's sunny above those clouds. It's got that yellow haze, that orangey haze that you can see. So Mayumi trying to retake. Well, he's done the job with Liam Anfield. Liam Anfield struggling with Skyjacker. Skyjacker didn't put the hard tyres on, so maybe the rule is out of the window. Confusion, unless Skyjacker plans to make another pit stop and put hard tyres on, but I can't see that happening. And I would have read it that the tyre rule is, because of the first race, you don't have to use mandatory tyre in this race, but I probably would have put the hard tyre on just in case. Liam Anfield then, he's gone for hard tyres, and now he's struggling against Skyjacker, who's got the racing softs on, and he's all up and in his business. Joker, meanwhile, on the racing hard, and Madlinsky stayed out there on those same tyres, is all up and in Joker's business. This is crazy stuff. Pat on the racing hards, and Big Dan might have to make another visit to the pits to put on a proper set of racing tyres for the conditions we're racing in, because Homesick Alien is starting to catch him up. Homesick Alien must have stayed out again, and I missed it. But his fuel's so low, I was surprised that he would. And Mayumi, I mean, he's probably just waiting to see if that rain comes, possibly, or he just wants to go as late in this race as he possibly can do. If he pitted, he would have been between Liam Anfield. Oh, Liam Anfield's had some damage done there. Unbelievable stuff. And Skyjacker still banging it out there. And Homesick Alien has put a lap on Big Dan, who has either made a mistake with the tyres, or he suddenly thinks he has a crystal ball. Skyjacker says rain was forecast for middle and end of the race. Skyjacker also said wet sprint race nullifies the soft medium rule feature. If it doesn't rain, the hard tyre is still in place. So yeah, they still got to use the hard tyre. So Skyjacker still has to use the hard tyre. Mayumi still has to use the hard tyre, and so does Homesick Alien. Liam is using the hard tyre now, getting it out of the way. Jokus using the hard tyre. Madlinsky hasn't used the hard tyre yet. Pat's using the hard tyre. Big Dan's put intermediates on, I think, to get around the hard tyre rule, but it never rained, so it's an interesting one. So Mayumi takes over the lead of this race, but we know he has to pit again, which is making this very, very interesting indeed. We're on lap 18 of 27. Homesick Alien then gets his car serviced, puts on another set of softs. No, he's gone for hard, sorry. And Skyjacker's right on the scene there with his softs, but we think Skyjacker may have to do a splash dash near the end of the race. I suppose he had a decision. He's pitted on lap, 13 was it? That he could either put hards on and go for the long trudge like Liam's having to do. Liam trying to save his fuel, trying to get himself to the line without a pit stop, and he pitted a lap earlier than Skyjacker. So Skyjacker obviously opted soft tyres, another dash, and a quick pit stop at the end for hard tyres possibly. Mayumi also doing that strategy. Homesick Alien has made his one and only stop. Now he's just on his way. And if the two have to stop in front of him, he's laughing, isn't he? Unless there's rain. Liam Anfield. Saving that fuel. Going that wide. So Liam Anfield trying to stay off that accelerator as much as possible. look after that fuel. Jokus, meanwhile, in a battle with Madalinsky. Madalinsky on those used soft tyres. And the front left is starting to look a little angry now. And it's going to be a struggle. And Jokus there. Oh, they're side by side. It's going to be a big one. They survive somehow, but Madalinsky is in the lead. Only just, and Jokus giving him a little love tap as they come around. And Jokus then loses that battle with Madalinsky, and Madalinsky's now going to get out of dodge. And Jokus is going to have his rear view mirror full of Pat. Skyjacker also says, I think the guys on softs are gambling for rain. Ah, yes.
I think the guys on softs are gambling for rain.
Yes, that's what I thought possibly was going to happen. Although I think Miumi does have to make a pit stop again. He's not going to get to the end of the race on that tank. Skyjacker could get to the end of that one, but he's hoping for rain, so he doesn't have to use the hards, I gather. Homesick Alien did go hards, he's played it safe, but he will have to pit. We've seen that they've tried to stay out on the dry tyres before in this race, in these cars, and it does not work. Liam Anfield, I think he's trying to save that fuel to the end, but is it going to be enough? He's down to half a tank already. Madalinsky's tyres and virtually nothing, but he's pulling away from Jokus. Pat on those racing hards being caught now by Big Dan. Big Dan starting to find some time in that, but the leaders are coming through. And Big Dan, you've got to race for what's on the track, my friend. It's got to have been a mistake. He couldn't have done that on purpose. Putting them on, that's a Ferrari kind of strategy. Put the wet tyres on, but it's not raining. Yeah, but just do a banker lap. Oh, look. Qualifying didn't go well, did it, Ferrari? They want to get the Le Mans Ferrari team in to run the Ferrari F1 team, possibly. So Miumi then, what's going on? He's on a quarter of a tank of fuel. It's on lap 20 of 27. So 7 more laps are remaining in this race. Skyjacker is looking strong, but he's not used the hard tyre. But I think he's hoping that he doesn't have to use the hard tyre and he can just try and get away with, what, an intermediate set? Homesick Alien coming to put a lap on the intermediate, running down. Big Dan, what are you doing? Go in the pits. Liam Anfield, he's been on half a tank of fuel for a while now, so he might be doing okay with conserving fuel. There's only 7 laps left, and they can do that on half a tank, so Liam Anfield may have done the impossible, and he might be able to get to the end of this race. Madalinsky flying, but for how long will those tyres help him fly? He's quite away from Liam, so he's in his own little battle here with Jokus, and Pat's in the mix as well. 33.0 for Pat last time around, Jokus 32.7, so he's got a bit of pace on Pat. Yeah, he's not got to worry too much. And Big Dan has nearly killed the intermediate tyres. He's just crazy, isn't he? He's crazy. He's just a wacky guy. Miumi then. And it wasn't so wacky in putting him on, it's just the fact he said, no, I'm not coming in. Screw it, I'll drive around on them. They're only going to last 5 laps in the dry anyway, so I may as well. And he's doing all right lap times, 39s, 41s, but I think the rest of the field are doing 33s. So, and even now, if it rains, those tyres are useless anyway. So he's gained a knout. But if it had rained, what a hero would he have looked like, eh? We would have been singing his praises. I would have been gushing if it had rained, but it didn't. And he's looked like a white Wally. Homesick Alien's coming in. Is there rain? Is there rain? No wipers are going. That is a very weird move. Oh, is Homesick Alien going in to put softs on? Has he decided, oh, I don't like the hards, I'm going to put softs on? Mayumi might be possibly having to make another stop. He's come across a back marker. I say a back marker, what's that? Pat? He's no back marker. And he's jolly good at getting out of the way for Mayumi. As Mayumi tries to crack on, but the wipers aren't working, so Homesick just obviously... No, he has put intermediates on. Homesick Alien feels there's something in the air, but what? It's crazy. I can hear it. It has arrived. Homesick Alien may have played a blinder here, but Mayumi is on the pit start straight. He could come in. This could be a perfect opportunity. Someone else ahead of him's come in as well. Madalinsky, Jokers is in as well. Mayumi coming in. Skyjacker will be next. Is he going to think, I'll stay with it? Is it just a flutter? I mean, the track's still showing slightly dry, but no. Skyjacker in as well. Liam Anfield will be pitting as well. So Homesick Alien, look at him coming out like a... That's how you do it, Big Dan. And Big Dan, he'll be coming in because he needs a new set of intermediates. Sorry, Big Dan, there's no need for it, is there? So they've all changed, nearly. And Mayumi leading this race on a set of intermediates. He's managed to put the fuel in. Skyjack has gone full wet. He has gone full wet, boy. Liam Anfield in as well. Homesick Alien went for that early inters, and I don't know why. I thought he'd end up coming out like a boss ahead of Skyjacker and Mayumi, but obviously not, because they just come around and they didn't lose much time in the wet. And Liam going for intermediates as well, so it's only Skyjacker that's opted to go for those wet tyres, but it is chucking it down a lot. So we'll see. Mayumi, we saw it in a drying conditions. He was driving in his own realm. So let's see as the track gets wet if the same applies. Skyjacker with the full wets, but he's hoping he's banking. He's banking on a lot of rain there, and I don't know what his source is and how reliable they are. Mayumi coming across the Opal Fruits Martini again, and gets by. This is deadly serious for Mayumi. He wants the double win here at Fuji, and Skyjacker could be the only fly in his ointment here. Homesick Alien on the intermediates, perfect tyre, great timing with the pit stop, but I don't know, didn't seem to gain much. Well, he's got himself ahead of Liam. He was behind Liam Anfield, wasn't he, at some point, I think, on track, because Liam was third. So Homesick Alien has managed to move up a position, and Big Dan comes in for another set of intermediates. The first set weren't no good in the dry. Madalinsky then, that was perfect timing from Madalinsky. He's a little too far behind Liam, but he's put a lovely bit of distance between himself and Jokers, Pat, right in the thick of the action as well as Mayumi is. Big Dan comes out with a set of full wets. He's gone full wets for the end of this race, like Skyjacker has. Now all we can do is look at the lap times. A 50.3 from Mayumi, sliding around a lot. The bar is getting up into the wetter end of the graph, and even Skyjacker on those wet tyres is stepping out a little bit in the corners. This is going to be an interesting finale. We're on lap 24 of 27. So 3 laps left, and Homesick Alien struggling on the inters. It's definitely got wetter. Now is Mayumi going to go in? Is he going to stick it out there on the inters? He's carrying on. He's carrying on. He's hoping for the best. And where is Skyjacker? Skyjacker is half a straight behind him. And this is going to be juicy, Lucy. Pat's going in. He's decided it's not intermediate, it's wet. And Homesick Alien, what will he do? He's got Liam Anfield, and Liam Anfield off the road. There's a nice gap opening up And if Homescaling wants to fight the guys ahead of him, he needs to pit. But he does not. He carries on. He's cracking on. Liam Anfield is cracking on as well. Track position is king, it seems. Not being on the right tyre is important here at Fuji. I would so want to be on the right tyre. It's so fast. It's such a fast track. So grip dependent in the corners that yeah, the being on the wrong tyre is just not great for anyone. Liam has gone in. He's decided that the tyre choice has got to be better than track position. I mean, he's just going to catch him up easily if it's going to carry on raining for the rest of the race, which it possibly could. So Liam comes in. He goes on to the wets. He doesn't lose a position. That's handy. He did have that. Track position wasn't everything for Liam Anfield. Now he's got to get used to the lack of grip out there. Homesick Alien being caught by the back marker of Pat, who went in and put wet tyres on. Pat is some way off of Jokus, but only one spin away from being ahead of Jokus, and Homesick Alien looks like he's positively crawling around at the moment, and it's very wet. It's very wet indeed. Where is Miyumi? Miyumi isn't half a straight ahead of Skyjacker anymore, but he's just starting lap 26. Was that 2 more laps to go? So Miyumi might be able to stay ahead of Skyjacker. It doesn't seem to be getting any heavier, the rain. So it's this is going to be the level all the way to the end. And Miyumi struggling with that grip. And Skyjacker, he knows what he needs to do. Homesick Alien, we saw earlier, it looked like he was crawling around. Liam Anfield's put on the correct tyre, but I mean, with only 2 laps, he'd need Homesick Alien to have a huge off, a humongous one. Madalinsky then on those intermediate tyres, cracking on, and Jokus has just, oh, he's a lap ahead of Pat? Really? Oh no, that, hey? Jokus is, yeah, a lap ahead of Pat. No, that can't, no, that's Miyumi. I think that's Miyumi in front of Jokus. Sorry, let me have a look. Yeah, Pat's got quite a distance to make up, even though he's on those wet tyres. He's got some distance to make up to try and get ahead of Jokus. Big Dan is on the right tyre now. Oh, massive sideways action there for Ensign Ewart as he slings the rich energy Peugeot around Fuji in the wet, and he's in his element. Look at him, he's having a wonderful time. Miyumi then still leading. Skyjacker getting ever closer. Miyumi trying to keep that car planted as best he can. He's going down the straight. Lots of standing water there to worry about. Any sudden jerks could be jeopardy. And we go into the final lap of 49.5 from Miyumi. Skyjacker 48.6, nearly a second faster than Miyumi, but just too far. But there's a lot of corners for Miyumi to come unstuck in on those intermediate tyres, but the track doesn't seem to be getting any wetter, and he's surviving. And I think he might be able to do it, you know. I think he's got enough distance. As long as he doesn't make a mistake, he can bring this bad boy home for a double win here at Fuji with Skyjacker. Good for second though, great strategy in the end. Homesick Alien was in early on those inters. I thought he was going to gain, he gained the position on Liam. And, opting to come in and put on the wet tyre in the latter part of the race. Madalinsky played a blinder, isn't he? Finishing in 5th place. Great stuff, great debut. Oh, right. Skyjacker says, I don't think the car, that they have wipers. They don't, you're right. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. That's what I suppose happens when you make a concept car. So where are we? Sorry, the leader is just coming around the final corner now, And he did it, by Jove. He did it indeed. If there was ever any doubts, put it to the back of your head now, because Mayumi has taken the double win, and a great drive from the American. Great stuff from Mayumi. Skyjacker and Jokus went over the line with him. And Skyjacker then comes home in a great second place, championship leader. Homesick Alien gets the job done for a podium. Take a boo, my son. So a podium for Homesick Alien with Liam Anfield. There's loads of people finishing in between. Pat gets 7th. Big Dan's not quite there yet. I think Big Dan's closer though than Liam Anfield. So Big Dan 8th. He went for a radical strategy. He would have looked like a hero if it had paid off. And Liam Anfield comes home in 4th, just off of the podium. And a great drive from Liam Anfield. Super stuff. Car 13 crosses the line for 4th place. Great drive. And Madalinsky, the debut. I think it's the debut. I haven't noticed him drive before. Bringing it on around the final couple of corners. 5th place. Cracking stuff there. This is a mighty beast of a car to drive. A mighty beast of a car in the wet to get any kind of positions out of. And you've driven it like a don. Well done. Madalinsky crossing the line. Oh no, I've got to pause it, sorry. See how close we can get to the line. Might be able to pause it just after you've crossed. For 5th, there you go. So that is round 3 of the VGT season 5. And what a cracker. What a cracker. What a cracker. No, we're not. Yeah, there you go. And it's Mayumi takes the double win out of this round. And that is a huge injection of points into his championship campaign. Great stuff from Mayumi. Well done. Skyjacker, championship leader. I think he's done enough to score enough points to stay as championship leader. In 2nd, Homesick Alien. They're all crap camera angles. I apologise. Rounds out the podium. But all finishes behind Skyjacker in both races and Mayumi. So it's going to be a hit for Homesick in that championship battle as we get to the halfway point. Liam Anfield, a great comeback there from car 13. Madalinsky, great debut. Great debut. I'm sure the first race didn't go to how you wanted it, but that second race, well run, well raced, and 5th place. Great stuff. Joker's grabbing a handful of points in 6th, ahead of Pat, who opted to go into the pits, get another set of wet tyres, and got himself 7th. And Big Dan, going for mentalist strategies, got himself 8th, which is probably what he deserved. Sorry, Dan. Don't mean it. Madalinsky in the chat saying that was a nice challenge. Oh, great. Cool. Well, it's lovely to have you, my friend. Right then, time to wrap this bad boy up with a nice little bow and say, come again for the next round, which will be at Blue Moon Bay Speedway. I don't know which one. Hang on. That's being lazy, because I could probably find out which one and tell you. Oh, God, it's Discord again. Let's have a look. VGTS season info. Look at this. This is quick. This is quick. It's the Tri-Oval. Wow, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be an interesting race. So Blue Moon Bay, Tri-Oval for these Group 1 cars at the next round. And you know how this works on YouTube. It drops. We like to drop it on you with no warning. GT4 race coming up soon in the streams. I can't remember where it's at though. Oh, Monza. Yeah, I think we've got a double feature race at Monza in the high-end GT4 cars coming your way anytime soon. It's random. We'll get into a rhythm, guys. We just got to find our rhythm, and then we'll be knowing when we get our races. I know it's a little bit in the blue at the moment. I was your broadcaster and your commentator, Pat McGroin. Thank you for joining us here at the Virtual Racers Club. I've heard from other sources that you should hit like and subscribe, but I don't have any kind of reasoning why you should do that. Just do it, okay? What's the deal to you for hitting like? It makes no difference to anyone. No one's watching this part anyway because we've wrapped up. Right then, thank you very much. I was Pat McGroin, and we were the Virtual Racers Club. See you again next time for the GT4s. Peace and love.